It is Tuesday.
Tuesday. The podcast. I'm trying to do 10,000 steps a day.
Oh, Rihanna. That walk was long.
Tell you exactly? We're at 5,534.
Get your butt out there one more.
55% of our daily goal.
Are you going to be... You have to take one more walk,
I have to do one more walk in the evening.
Ah, very nice. What is this podcast about?
This podcast is about baking-related, business-related things that we see in the Sugar Cookie Marketing Group on Facebook. The great thing about having a large group of bakers in business is that we can
see a lot of bees in this.
A lot of bees. Gosh, I'm glad I'm getting those words out. Wow. Is that we can see what is trending, what's happening, what issues people are running into. We can collect data, let you know that the J months are slow months. We can let you know that you can print cash in December with cookie classes. And what we like to do is bring just a topic a week to your little ear canals so you can bake, decorate.
Add one more bee in there.
What's a bee? Me add a bee?
What's that so many?
Bake your boulets. That was really tried.
So today's podcast topic was one that Corey was impassioned about this weekend.
You were impassioned. The thing is, running this group for how many years now?
October 2020.
4 years.
Yeah.
Running this group for 4 years, we can see a lot of people have come and gone from the industry. I will see new names every day. I'll see old names leave. I'll see old names pop up again because they couldn't keep their hands out of the cookie jar. And they went back in.
Here's my theory on that is everyone's like, I'm done with cookies. It's the summer. Mm-hmm. We get our summer bods. We go to the beach, eat carefree. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, it comes September and you're like, oh, look at all that money I left on the table. Then you're like, guys, I know you asked.
So we see a lot of turnover. We see a lot of change. What I've always seen, regardless if you're new, old, borrowed, or something blue,
there's a beat.
is the way that people come to the group and spin a question always dictates how the comment section's going to go. I can tell if a baker doesn't want a good answer. They don't want a business-centric answer.
They want a validation.
By the way that they type a question.
Yeah, so this is a little bit returning to the rules, but also to help you help us help you. Because what I do, and I know you guys are like, man, Heather's been locking threads left and right. Really Amy has just been in the trenches, and Corey's somewhere out there. But you go there and you're like, wow, this thread is locked already. It's so funny. It'll be funny because I'll go and lock a thread and I'll be like, hey, you guys are just not being kind to each other. You guys are either customer bashing, baker bashing, competition bashing, all this stuff that feels great to say.
It feels good.
I love candy. I love it. I love donuts. I love cakes. I love sugar. Corey brought macarons. They were in the shape of strawberry. I ate them. I don't really like strawberry filling, and I ate so many. But that is just a high carb, low protein type of post where it feels great, but at the end you
get a quick high.
Yep.
And then a hard crash.
And you got 10,000 steps in front of you, man.
The problem is, as a commenter in these groups, you can come poo-poo on a post and then go about your life. Your life doesn't change, but the information that you've left can dictate what that specific person is going to do in their business. And you might have just had a bad day. And you left a kind of negative comment that said, F the customer, I hate them. And the problem is, we need customers to survive.
Right. Customers are our lifeblood. I was watching a documentary on crowd control, like crowd management. They say once humans gather, they become almost this entity of one.
One body.
Yes, one entity of a blob that moves around. And so crowd managers have to really maintain this blob of people and how they move because you all start moving in the same direction. Same with these Facebook groups. Now, I'm just going to round up 50,000 people, one really toxic thread. What it does is it skews a lot of the people in that group. The algorithms are great, as good as they are bad. A high popcorn, low protein post gets the most eyes.
Here's the thing. Those posts, the way that Facebook groups are set up, most people have it to most recent activity.
Show me the juiciest of the drama.
The most recent activity isn't someone asking how they can set up their Google business profile.
No, that was the most.
That usually has like maybe one comment and someone in the comment is the word following.
Turkey, no fat.
But what trends in these groups is very one-way, opinion-based questions.
Spun negatively.
That are opinionated at best.
Yes. And are spun in a way to get an answer that produces a lot of one-sided opinions. And so we're saying, likely, in a weird way, you're highly emotional and you wanted that comment section. What you're not going to get is it, but what you've created is a ton of work for the mod team, because I'll go through and I'll delete any of those impassioned comments that don't add any value. What I'm looking for in a question is what we're going to talk about. And what I'm looking for in a comment is something that's like, understood. This actually happened to me once. Here's what I did. Here's what I wish I did differently. And here's what I'd recommend you try now.
At the end of the day, the person who made the opinionated one-sided post, my comment to you you're not going to use my suggestion because you've already decided what you're going to do way before you posted that.
Corey and I say, if you have to ask, you already know.
My issue with posts like that is people who maybe have just tuned into the group or new bakers, seeing that so many people are customer bashing that they think that's acceptable to do to their own customers.
I mean, I learn from groups what that group's mentality believes to be. And I was telling Corey, like I was reading this question on Reddit or something, and the answers were so biased to one answer that even though I disagreed with the majority of those comments, I'm not going to post because I don't want to be torn to shreds.
Right.
So you create an echo chamber where it's signaling to people entering this market, these new bakers, like, hey, we're supposed to hate these clients. Then you're like, and if you don't hate these clients, you're going to get hated yourself.
Yeah, we're going to crucify you in the comment section.
So to survive in a group setting, now people are saying, okay, well, all we do is hate clients. We don't strategize. We don't do anything other than hate them. Hating gets me likes.
Bakers against customers.
Yes.
Here's also the thing. Hold on, let me
get
my train of thought.
You just abandoned it?
Yeah, because you were talking so long. It was coming and going. And then I left.
Ship left the duck.
I don't know. I lost it. Keep going.
That said, when we come to the, I can already tell, and now Facebook has this neat little feature where it can actually provide feedback without deleting a post.
Yeah.
I'll give the OP about 15 minutes before they've either not changed enough and I got to lock it or delete it. And I don't like doing that because it really does stump the? No, it really does. I want to say
I think minimizes stumps growth.
Stumps growth.
Here's the thing. You guys don't like posts that the comments are turned off of. What if we deleted it? The reason why we don't want to delete it is because there is some good information in there.
And people spend a lot of time writing the good information.
Yeah, so that's why
I don't want to punish the person trying to help because the loud mouth.
Yeah.
If we could listen, if you're just going to type the word run, period, don't write it. Just don't write it.
If you're going to do the emoji of the person running, so
don't do it. So we use the sugar cookie marketing groups as a resource. And the way you're going to maximize the content that you receive is by writing your questions in a very specific way that deters the drama. So yeah, you're going to get fewer comments, but you're going to get a lot more valuable comments.
I saw one post. It was kind of going...
You mean every post made this weekend?
Heck in a handbag. Someone commented, like, you need to tell the customer they're wrong, that they need to bring back the cookies, they need to regurgitate the part that they ate. And the person, the OP which OP means original poster, the baker who posted it was like, I love that suggestion. How would you say it?
Yes, great job, OP.
Because you can't say that to a customer. You're risking the success of your business by just being like, you need to regurgitate the cookies. I'm never going to work with you again. You can't say those things.
No. I would like to say, it's so funny. These groups that we run are heavily policed. Like, it is not an open forum.
My thing. I found what I was thinking.
Get it?
If you ask a question to bakers about what bakers would choose, bakers will always say that you need to charge more money, that our time
bakers
is worth
side
it.
It's art.
If you spin it, you are going to have a resounding the customer is wrong because we're all bakers.
If I went into a room of people wearing white clothes and I said, should I wear black or white? They're going to say wear white.
If you asked a question to customers who have been wronged by bakers, you're going to get a resounding, you're wrong, give us our money back.
It's all biased. So when you walk into these baking groups, you're going to get pretty biased answers. So what we need to do is ask an unbiased question. And that's where the value is. Otherwise, you're just letting off steam. And please don't let off steam in this group. Let off steam in any of the other groups.
We want this, as much as you're like, well, I wasn't going to say that to the customer. There's other people reading the post who are newer in business that might think that's an acceptable way to talk to somebody.
Are they saying that to some of these comments? I'm like, did you say
I
that
have
to
no
somebody?
idea. But I know if I was said that, someone said that to me.
Right. So instead of just telling you guys said, ask questions nicer. We actually created 5 questions, and they're alternate questions to get you the better answer. So this is marketing in the form of how to use the sugar cookie marketing and most other groups in a way to get you valuable answers that push your business forward instead of creating popcorn, fluff, high carb, low protein.
That will not, it won't help your business.
It's not
I promise
It'll actually encourage your negative emotion. And I think that's also a detriment to your business as well.
Yeah. Where you look at every customer like, oh, I got another order.
The minute you start rolling your eyes at your customers, your business will close soon. I can't wait to see your Instagram post announcing you're no longer taking orders because you hate people.
But you may be back at Christmas for some holiday pop-ups.
We got to respect the clients. And I don't like putting white gloves on and acting like clients walk on water, but in a weird way, they're floating our business. Mm-hmm. So they may not walk on water, but we're on their ocean.
Yeah.
Corey really likes her ocean
analogy. Sea and ocean. My husband was like, you are the ocean to my sail.
Corey gets this text. She said, my husband sent me the weirdest, the craziest, the nicest text, but I'm not sure if he wrote it or if he got ChatGPT to write it. And she reads it to me and it's like, as our anchors floated through the land of Northern Virginia, I'm glad to say we docked at the same harbor. So this whole week we've been calling her captain. It was very nice.
You're not listening to this, but if you ever did. Aye.
Okay, because example 1. Oh, my computer's going through it.
Are you kidding me?
He's back. Okay. This has been the most loyal man of my life, Del. Unhappy client. Now, here is the version of the post that's not going to get you the answer that helps. It's going to make you feel great, though. It's going to get people running to their microwave to start popping their eyeball popcorn. And you know who you are. And I'm you, too. And I love to read those drama posts, but unfortunately, I just have to clean them up. Quote, I took a last-minute order. It was rushed, and I fit her in. She begged me. My icing wasn't perfect, but now she's upset about how they turned out. I wasn't even going to take the order, and I let her know it wouldn't be perfect, but she's saying the icing isn't even the right color. I tell them in my terms that the icings weren't perfect match, so she knew that going into it, and I don't have time to rebake, and frankly, I'm not going to refund her. What should I do? Any help?
Do you see how one-sided that is?
And frankly, I'm not going to refund her and I don't have time to rebake. You're not giving us any options.
You're not giving us a lot of options.
Telling us, you're asking the group, because we have to put, you're saying, can I put this lady in her place and tell her, no, there is no recourse. There's not a lot even I feel
technically it's going to be, no, there is no recourse. That's all you can say.
When you block the group into the only option is to be like, run, they're saying the word run because you said they can't say really anything else. We're only allowed to hate on that client for not reading the terms, for being difficult, and there's nothing we can do to help you because you just said, I'm not going to do anything you recommend. What can I do? What can you do? Run. That's basically all you got. And now here's a way to ask the exact same question. You're going to see that this pulls out all the emotion. It actually replaces it a little bit with accountability. And it's going to get you actual answers that help you help this person, this client, right? I took a last minute order and in hindsight, I shouldn't have. I broke my boundaries and I acknowledge I have a hard time telling people no. The cookies that include names have bumpy icing. It's not my best work by far. What should I do in this situation? The client is unhappy with those cookies. Now I know what you're going to get. Hey, partial refund. Why? Because that is likely our only option at this point. You notice that we did not force the comments to say, do not tell me to refund. Because that may be your best option here.
Yeah. Here's the thing. A partial refund isn't a full refund. That's the best. That's where both customers and baker win slightly, lose slightly, but you save the face of your business.
In business, when there are problems, there's going to be no 100% winner and a 100% loser because that's not going to go over well. We try to say, what's the compromise win for both parties where no one truly is the victor, but no one truly is defeated?
Yeah.
And when people say, do not tell me to do this, that, and the other, it's likely because you know that is what they're going to say. Because that is the ideal solution here.
It is hard. It is a hard pill to swallow to say you messed up. It's easy to say, they shouldn't have ordered last minute. But at the end of the day, you said yes to something, and it is now on you to produce something that is as if you didn't take a rush order. Rush order doesn't mean you have the ability to do less than your best, even if it's rushed. That's why it's okay to say no in business if it's going to put you out and risk your business, reputation. You can say no. And that you took it on and you said yes, and you made this person happy because you gave them the yes answer. Now look, you put yourself in a situation
This is the theme of my life.
What?
Saying yes, putting myself in a situation and being miserable. Yeah, somebody's going to be miserable.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, if you know that something comes a little bit on you, that you rushed the job,
take accountability.
Take accountability. That is going to help the group, help you formulate a response and an action that's going to help your business long term.
And I can tell you what the response is likely going to be is just refund the ones where the names are messed up. There, a compromise win. It's not a full refund. Corey and I are like, yeah, pay to make it go away. A compromise pay to make it go away still works.
Absolutely.
But in the original question, like, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to say this. They're wrong. They're this. You're telling people in the comments, you can only tell me I'm right.
There's no wiggle room.
Yeah. And if you don't tell me, and it's even worse when I see someone say like, hey, I would consider this. And someone's like, the OP's like, you're wrong too. Like you're so bent on trying to get validation that you're actually cutting your nose to spite your face. And that's not what I want to see, because the next question you're going to get in that group is, hey, I got a bad review. She didn't like the icing and I don't know what to do.
You might see a post like this one where the comments are turned off because OP is not accepting any response that doesn't side with them. When a post goes that way, there's no reason to have the comments open. OP doesn't want a resolution. They want people to side with them. So that's a waste of everybody's time. So you will find that those comment sections are locked.
I would say that's a great point. If you find that you can only get one or the other, validation or a resolution. If you're looking for validation, you're not looking for a resolution. And it's probably not the best question for this group. There's a bunch of groups that would absolutely love to drag your client through the mud. It's just not this one.
Yeah.
This one has to be a healthy, helpful group. Okay, moving on to example 2. This is the spun one, the spun question.
Okay.
Often typed very quickly because it was so angry. I secured a corporate recurring order, and now they want to know if I can lower my price. They waited until after we nailed everything down, and frankly, I don't want to work with them anymore anyways, but I want her to know I won't do business like that. How can I tell them they're being unfair? Okay, you basically said, I want to fight them. How should I fight? What weapon should I choose?
Yeah.
And in the comment section, they're going to be like, well, you should tell her insert thing. And
tell her I know my worth.
Yeah, because you also added you don't care to lose them as a client. You said burn down their house. What should I use as fuel? Like you have said, go for the throat. How can I tell this person they're the worst?
Yeah.
And guess what the comments are going to tell you?
They're going to tell them they're the worst. Yeah. Tell them absolutely not. Tell them, would they want someone to do that to their business?
Yeah. And it's going to be a very toxic thread. And if you sent any of those, you're not going to have a good time, because your next question is going to be, hey guys, I've been blacklisted from this venue and I can't work there anymore. How do I work? Like that's going to be the next question. So the strategic question here, it asks the same thing, but it changes the wording, is I secured a corporate order and it would be a nice recurring lead for me. However, they want me to come down on price and I don't have any wiggle room. I don't mind if I can't keep the lead, but how can I let them know I won't be able to move on price while still keeping the potential for us to work together?
You see how that is going to allow people to formulate a response that's going to help you and this potential business partner work together, even if it's not on this reoccurring order because they want a discount, but that you can maintain a relationship with them for some point in the future, that the door isn't completely shut.
Right. And that would be the ideal business move. To slam every door shut where you don't get 100% of your way, you are on a fast track fee to shutting down. And I can't help you there. So you're going to see that a lot of these answers are a little castrated, where the emotion has been removed, accountability has been inserted, maybe a little vulnerability that allows the comment section to kind of expand its scope here to say, okay, let's find a compromise. The way you worded that, and I can see it. Sometimes I see questions asked, and I'm like, wow, great job, OP. You could have spun this one way. Instead, you left it wide open. You came with arms by your side and kneeled down and said, how can you guys help me here? Here's the issue, Number 3, this was Corey's scenario. One, and these are all taken from scenarios we see constantly in this group. These are the threads where I'm taking the top 3 dots, turn off commenting, and leaving my little lock emoji. I mailed cookies to a client. They 100% were perfect when I boxed them up. Now the client's saying half arrived broken. I told them it's not my fault what happens during shipment, but they're asking for a refund, and I'm absolutely not going to refund. I did not ship broken cookies. What should I say?
Do you see?
There's
no...
You're right. I'm not, you should say, I'm not giving you a refund. I don't ship broken cookies. And what's going to happen is you know that you can't say that because you know the client will be upset. So why do you think you can say that in a group of 50,000 people?
You're going to get a bunch of answers you can't use. But they're going to make you feel good.
They're going to be the ones you wanted.
Yeah.
You know you can't use them, but it's going to make you feel, yeah, the client's an idiot.
And what that does, and what I worry about, is that makes your heart hardened to even the possibility of seeing both sides of the story. At the end of the day, the customer didn't break the cookies. You didn't break the cookies. It happened in shipment.
Yeah. But they're like, but it's not my fault. And the client said, it's not my fault. It's neither of your fault. It happened in shipment. And that's where the solution lies. But here's the alternate way to ask that question. I have an issue. I mailed some cookies. When boxed, nothing was wrong. In my terms, it says, once a box leaves my hands, I'm not responsible for what happens to the cookies. I'm not sure what to do. I don't want the unhappy client, but I also don't feel like it's my responsibility. Okay, the answer is going to be take it up with the shipping company. It's their fault. Well, I didn't put insurance on it. Then now it's back to your fault. So, and maybe it's not 100% your fault. Maybe you're like, well, I said I wasn't going to refund them. Okay, what are you going to tell the client that? I know you know they're not going to be happy hearing that.
When you're paying as much as we charge for these custom cookies and 1 or 3 or 5 arrive broken, that is a lot of money and you cannot use those cookies.
That's the solution right there, is refund them the broken cookies and then take it up with UPS. I know a lot of you guys like to say, well, they should. They don't have they're just the client. You are the customer of UPS. When you paid for their services, you are their customer. That is your job to take it up with them. And then you can say, and then you're going to see this, well, I didn't put insurance on it, but it's still not my fault because it was my terms and service. Here's a lesson in business, is that you should have put insurance on it and charged and passed that cost along to the customer so that you would have recourse. You've just learned a great lesson in business. You're going to have to swallow this likely, and moving forward, you're going to have a new option because you will have put insurance on those cookies, knowing full well cookies just don't ship well.
Yeah, they don't.
The guarantee here is that cookies don't ship well. Cookies don't ship well when it's hot. Cookies don't ship well when it's too cold. It's just these fine details. And Corey goes as far as to say we can't even legally do it, but she won't even ship cookies for friends.
No.
Because it's such a common issue.
Yeah.
And for you to think that this common issue won't strike you as well, I think you're operating under an imaginary false premise.
If you come to the group and you're like, oh, it happened again, cookies arrived broken, I don't want to refund the customer. At the end of the day, once is something, twice a coincidence, 3 times it's something on your part. If maybe you're not packaging them correctly. UPS is known for throwing boxes across the room.
I think if you put fragile on it, they see it as like
football.
I think they see fragile is football.
So you have to realize the only thing you can't control the UPS person. That's out of your control. What you can control is how you package them. If the cookies keep getting broken, that's something you got to take shipping cookies off of the menu.
Yeah, it's your market is saying, don't ship these cookies, it's costing you more, and you can't operate at a loss. So that is the solution, is to take it off. Now, what's going to happen in that way the first one was worded, I guarantee you 5 comments are going to say they broke them on purpose so they could get free cookies from you. I did a poll. I do it every year, podcast poll, to see how many cookie orders are refunded. And now I say outside of COVID, the average refund for, I think it was over 800 people responded last time. The average refund last year, 2023, is less than half of an order across 800 bakers. The by and large average answer was less than half an order. So no, people don't want this isn't some big giant customer scheme to get free cookies and money. They just wanted the cookies. They arrived broken. How do I find a solution? Okay, moving on. That's a good one. And also, just not mailing cookies would be a great solution. Everyone's always like, oh, my state allowed shipping. And I'm like, oh, praying for you now. Number 4. I have a longtime client saying my cookies taste dry and they want a refund. However, they've also said that most were eaten at the party. So when I asked for the remaining cookies back, they said there weren't any. And what was left over, they threw out because they were quote unquote dry. If they didn't like them, they wouldn't have eaten them or given them out, right? I think they just want a refund, but I only refund for if defective product is returned. She's done this to me in the past and now I'm sick of it and I want to blacklist her as a client. How should I word this?
Yeah, and the comment section will be like, no cookies, no refund.
Yeah, and I mean, like, there's nothing that they can do with that answer.
At the end of the day, I want everyone to take a step back and put your shoes on of the customer. The customer has people that came over for this birthday party. Your cookies were going to be the highlight. They forewent the cake, and your cookies were going to be what everyone is going to eat. No hors d'oeuvres. Your cookies were going to provide sustenance. At the end of the day, them not giving out something to these people who showed up while they were depending upon your cookies to suffice this crowd, they're in a rock and a hard place.
Can I be OP? And I don't like your answer.
Sure.
I tried the cookie from that set. It was not dry.
If I get one more, my husband ate the scraps from this cake and thought they were delish. I don't know what to do.
At the end of the day, taste is subjective. Just because you like here's the thing. I had this ex. He loved the spiciest food in the world. And I would taste it. And I'd be like, whatever you're tasting that you love this, I taste fire, brimstone, and bitterness. Like, I can't taste anything good. I actually only taste really bad things.
Inside lining of my stomach.
But he would taste something so different because he would always order. And I'd be like, I only wish I could taste what you're tasting because it tastes like sin on bread to me. When you say, well, I had them and they weren't dry, that's irrelevant to the situation. The perception that they were dry. But here's what the thing is. You don't want their perception to be accurate. So instead, you're going to nail them to the cross of they want to get one over on me. How can I shut them down?
In the comment section of posts like this, it's like, I see customers are really trying to bully bakers to get free stuff.
No, I don't think so. Because again, that average refund is less than half of an order. And okay, I'll be honest. I hate talking to people. I had to go get something laminated at Staples. The dread walking the 2 feet into the Staples and talking to the extremely nice lady. I'd be like, you know what? I don't need anything laminated for the rest of my life. But for me to go in and be like, how can I go to Staples and make $2 off of them? It'd be the farthest thing. I think most people, if you're anything like my sisters, we don't even return things that are broken. We're so worried about how we'll be perceived that we don't. So you guys all are like, I can return it. When I return something, it's legal and ethical because I didn't like it. But when you try to return something, you're stealing to pull the wool over my eyes. Yeah, and you're going to get a comment section that's going to say, they're liars. That one's going to be a full thing. They're just trying to get free cookies. They're trying to do this. They're trying to do that.
At the end of the day, why you would see the comment section locked on that is because saying they're just trying to get free cookies. One, we only know half of the story.
Yeah, let's get
and
them
that's
in
the
here.
Baker side.
Once you can get to that client, join the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Have them give us their side.
At the end of the day, you can't tell half the story and lambast the customer and the customer not be able to share their side of the story. Because I'm going to swear it's going to be 100% different than what you have said. So that's why you would find the comment section locked in that, because people are like, customers are just trying to bully us. She's just trying to get free cookies. That's not, that's no answer to there's no solution there.
OP did even ask, how should I word this? And you're just saying the word run.
Yeah, so you're going to see either the comment section closed or you're going to repeatedly see that comment of customers just trying to get free cookies deleted.
That's it. Corey brings up a great point. Corey, me, and Amy kind of manage this stuff, right? And we'll assign each other threads to go and clean up so that way, even if OP has to really, and I'll see OP, the original poster, say, please don't customer bash. I do not want to get this locked, because they know that their controversial topic will get a lot of those run. Yeah. And I only have so much time in my day to babysit a thread. So what we'll go through is, as we see the run comments go up, I'll just delete them. By the time I've deleted 50 or so comments of the same repetitive, sarcastic, unhelpful comment, I'll lock it. But somebody will be like, but all the comments here are really helpful. Yeah, those are the ones that got left. Those are the ones that passed the vibe check. Everything else has already been deleted. You weren't here. Carpet sweeper already came by. The Dyson has already vacuumed up the riffraff. And what's left is stuff that I think everyone could actually get value from. And you're going to say, well, you guys just delete what you don't agree with. Absolutely not. I do not delete, don't refund post. I delete, don't refund them. They're liars. I don't delete, don't refund, and here's why I don't think you should.
If it has, I would say this, quotation mark, words, in quotation mark, I'm going to leave it up.
That's a great one.
That's a great one.
Because that's what they actually probably would say. And I guarantee you, none of the people are like, I'd say to this, you lying son of a bee. They're all going to be, I would say, if this were my client, this thing.
You got to realize, this admin team, is the fastest team on the West.
Amy's the fastest team on the I said, if Amy, your poor kids never get out, they never get away with anything.
We are in there like swimwear, guys. If you're like, I don't see anything bad, we have it where the alerts that tell us a post has gone up, and especially, I want to tell you a keyword is please no customer bashing, because I know when someone says that they know their post can go the way of the dodo. We're in there. We're refreshing it. So that's why you're like, I don't know, the admin team is a little too strict. I never see anything wrong.
Yeah, it's because it is too strict and you haven't seen anything wrong. So that is, did I read that? Okay, here's the better one. Because at the end of the day, these questions still need to be asked. And we're not saying don't ask them. We're saying ask them in a way that helps you help us help you. I have a returning client that I can't seem to satisfy. They said people attending their last event thought the cookies were too dry. I want to stave off a bad review here, but I also wouldn't mind not working with this client again. How can I satisfy the client today while also closing the door on future orders from her?
A great response would be, thank you so much for working with me. I'm going to actually refund you on this order, but I don't think I'm the right baker for you moving forward. Here's a list of other bakers that might be able to hit it out of the park with you.
Sick 'em on, another baker. This is way over there. But here's what I was thinking about, like how wild it is to be like, you're a nightmare. You'll be their nightmare. Personalities clash. There's some people that I look at.
There's tons of people that don't like Heather's personality.
Tons. Of course, another. And personalities clash with some person, and then I look at them and they have best friends with other people. Like where I'm like, how you're insufferable. How are you even married? And they've been married 50 years. So clearly a baker that could handle them in a different way, a way that you may, like, I take everything they say as offensive and rude. Another baker may be like, I love it when clients cut to the chase. I don't like the fluff elevator talk. I want to say, tell me exactly what you, like Corey got this order this weekend, this order request, and the lady was like, and then 2 centimeters to the right, I want a flower popping out of the mouth of a dragon. Like, it was extremely specific, and Corey's like, this is not my ideal client. But there is somebody out there, there's a baker out there who's like, and
I love
sketch this up
to be told
exactly
where you want the flower popping out.
And neither baker is wrong. No. They just have a different preference for an ideal client. So saying, hey, I am not your ideal baker, but these 3, and I used to work in property restoration and State Farm, you'd get on their preferred vendor list. And I'd be like, hey, could you recommend this property restoration company? They said, in fact, no, we can't recommend you alone. We actually recommend 3 companies at any given time so that the client, it's on them who they chose. If something goes right or left, they had the option for these 3. So you saying, hey, I'm not sending you specifically to one baker, but here's 3 bakers. One of these is probably going to be a great bet for you. But here again, let me give you that refund. I'm so sorry. Please wherever the rumor came that the twins say don't apologize is completely wrong. I say I'm sorry constantly. It's not
we say you don't have to apologize for being booked, but you can be sorry because you did something wrong.
You can be sorry that somebody else had a bad experience you disagree with.
Yeah.
I can validate your experience by saying, I'm sorry you feel that way. My ex loved to say that. I'd be like, hey, you really hurt me. I'm sorry you took that wrong. You can say, sorry you feel that way without saying, I'm sorry I'm a bad baker and I messed up today. I'm not saying I messed up. I'm saying you perceived a mistake that maybe I didn't perceive, but let's find a common ground. And
especially when something's as subjective as taste.
Taste, dryness, color. Corey cannot see light purple. Corey, what did you show me the other day? I'm like, oh, light purple, funny choice for that. And you're like, it's gray. Well,
we were at Heather was getting a new cell phone. She's like, look at this pretty purple. It just looked black to me. I said, there's 2 blacks, a gray and a white.
Corey can't see a color. So for Corey to say to everybody, you guys are wrong. This is gray, not purple. It's her eyeballs that are messed up.
Yeah. I need one of those real color vivid glasses so I can see the world.
You need to send me a picture of me like purple. So that's why the way that's worded is like, hey, I don't want to work with this client. How can I cut them loose in a way that doesn't land me with a bad review? Is much better than I hate them. They're liars. What should I do? Run? You think I should run? Everyone thinks I should run. Example 5, our last example. I can't seem to get any orders. I keep getting pushback on my prices, but my prices are my prices. In fact, I'm priced lower than a lot of the cookiers in the area, but there's new cookiers in my area and they're charging nothing. There's no way they're making a profit. And frankly, they have to be working at a loss on each order for what they charge. They're ruining the cookie market in my area. I feel like I'm barely making a profit as is, but if I raise my prices, I'll get even more pushback on pricing since people can go to those cheaper bakers anyways. I'm at a loss on what to do.
What do you want us to do?
It's the baker! Murder the new so big.
At the end of the day, in any form or fashion, whether it be a photography business, whether it be social media marketing, someone's doing this as an extra income hobby. And they are not priced for a profit because they're doing this for funsies. You cannot rest your laurels on people who are doing this hobby and say they're ruining the industry for you. It is not that, because that's everywhere.
Right. In fact, if we take it back to the dealership, let me use Toyota as an example. Or let me use Mercedes. I don't know. Pick any
whichever one you want.
car line, right? Because I can only remember so many names from them. I think every car manufacturer has a very, very, very economy option. It is small. It doesn't have many
Toyota
buttons.
Corolla can be a shell of a car if you want it to be.
You can take away. It has no leather seats. It has this tiniest little engine.
I even think you can get where it's still roll-up windows.
You can get everything taken out of car. And then also, you can get the top of the line Toyota Sequoia, complete with absolutely every button known to man. In fact, the car drives itself. How can Toyota ruin its own market by offering an economy option that is so cheap and offering a car whose buttons have buttons that have buttons and still be in business? That's because they get it. They get that there are cheap people who say, listen, I just need something to get to work and back, and I need fuel economy.
Yeah.
And there's people motivated that I could care less about filling this thing up 3 times every day I drive it. I want my butt cooled, my hands warmed on that steering wheel, and I want my kids watching a feature film before it comes to streaming service. And both of those can exist within the same line of cars, and Toyota can make a profit from all of them. What Toyota doesn't do is, all my cars are competitively priced and I don't have a cheaper option, but Mercedes taking them all with the C-Class, and I just think it's unfair, and I think Mercedes shouldn't sell that cheaper car because they should sell a more expensive car. Instead, these car manufacturers realize that they can get your cheap person money and your rich person money.
And they're going to take both.
So when you say, well, the cookie guys are ruining my market, you don't have a cheap competitive option against them. In fact, they're smarter than you because they're taking that segment that you refuse to compete in.
Not even smarter. You can't work at a loss. And when people are working as a hobby and not for a profit,
their market sorts them out.
At the end of the day, if someone is $15 a dozen, they're going to be so booked that people are going to have to go to you because they can't get in with the cheaper person.
I'm going to wager this. Someone's like, I'm just doing this as a hobby, but I think I'm going to just sell them at cost because I like to bake. Because they're doing this as a hobby and working at cost, they're going to quit immediately because they have no skin in the game. They have nothing to lose if they do or don't. So they'll take somebody who wants to work, but that person will only ever be able to hire them once because they're not available next time. So instead, you're going to say, hey, I have this really economy options, 3 colors, smaller cookies. It'll be great for you. You can compete on price there. You're still working at a profit. And you can say, and I got this luxury liner of a cookie set. It's custom. It's everything. It's 50 designs. It's It's all these extras. We got gold. We got silvers. And you can capture the entire market that way. Instead, what you're doing is you're blaming everybody and taking no accountability.
The reason why I can keep my prices as high as they are is because my competitors, my local ones to me, are constantly starting and stopping. So people end up at my door because they never
need someone
stopping.
consistent. If I went to get an oil change and every other time I went to that shop that I go to, they were closed, I would find another place, even if they were competitively priced. Even if they were really friendly. Listen, the car needs an oil change. I've got to get it done. And if you're not there and you're not always there. So the market dictates success. If you are not getting leads on your prices, it's something about your marketing that's wrong. It's not your prices, because people still buy Mercedes and they still buy Nissans and they still buy Toyotas and they buy cheap ones and expensive ones.
If you find that people are coming to you, you're hitting them with the price and then they're like, ugh, maybe you don't have your price listed where it can filter out those people. I think a starting price, listen, I try to put my price absolutely everywhere.
I went and audited Corey's forum the other day. Could you have mentioned it more?
By the time you get to me, we know
you have seen the price hurdle. You've jumped over that disclaimer.
So that means the people that are ending up in my form that has been submitted know the price, and we're working with.
They're not even ending up on my form. The reason why they're not ending up on the form is a marketing issue, not a pricing issue. And how do we say, okay, if you want to show value, you got better photography, you've got better sales copy, you're posting in more places, you're posting frequently, you're running ads. There's so much we can diagnose before we touch price, because I guarantee price isn't the problem. You even said in the question, I'm priced under the most expensive. The most expensive person is still in business.
And I want to say, this is actually a post recently. if you're worried about your wasting time quoting people and they're coming back with that's too high, put your price out there, your starting price. That's going to help you alleviate a lot of this back and forth. It's going to keep your mental health better because you're not always getting like, oh my God, your price is too high. But you can work for it. And that is a good marketing strategy.
Someone's going to be like, would I just have my autoresponder say starting at $78? Corey's is $78, right? Mm-hmm. 76, 78. Okay. So $78. How we have this is the autoresponder. Someone will be like, hey, I'm interested in ordering cookies. The autoresponder says, hey, I'm not here right now. I'm in the kitchen baking. My custom started at $78. If that works for you, here's the order form. Fill this out and I'll reach back out. How friendly. How friendly, but also, here's where I start. If you feel pricing objection is the issue, zero into that and figure out where you can place it that's friendly enough that stops the tire kickers. Now, we rewrote that question.
Okay.
This would be the alternate version. This would be what you would post in that group that does not land with a locked thread.
Okay.
I'm getting pushback on pricing. However, my prices are competitive and cover both cost plus profit. There's some bakers charging less than I am, so I think that's where the pushback is coming from. How can I differentiate myself from the competition so that pricing isn't even a thought on my clients' minds? Would you say there, you said, how can I market better? And you've given them, because price is an issue that's coming up. So how can I stop price being the lead of my sale and everything else coming in front so that price is a non-issue?
I would say if you took a class on florals, share that with your audience. So it looks like you are learning constantly, that you are learning something new that you're going to put into your customer and clients' orders. Also, you can say, I'm using top-of-the-line ingredients. Range-free, cage-free eggs. The top-of-the-line butter. It mixes better.
Better photos, if you have a better skill set, likely at the point that you're charging a lot higher than people, your skill set also reflects that. That is what a lot of people want in the cookie world. So if you can't compete on price, you're going to compete on skills. The way to show off skills is better photography, better photo sets, and really lean into showing that detail.
I want to say, I know everyone knows, like, I'm the photography twin. I peruse Instagram cookies as a fun hobby every single night. Your cookies can be literally stunning, but if your photography is not highlighting that in a way that where it's
I would say
bright,
stop taking a floral class and get into a photography class.
Yeah, but you can do yourself a disservice. You can be a better decorator, but have worse photos, and people think you're not worth it.
The worst decorator is going to beat you.
Because it just comes down to the way that you present yourself is how people are going to receive that. You can be the best decorator, but if your photos suck, people aren't going to want to pay those high prices because it's dark, it's dingy, you're white, you look yellow.
Unlike you, I like to peruse homes for sale.
Okay.
I always like to look at them within my price. Maybe I go out of my price point just to see if that was taken with a cell phone. I do not look at the listing. I do not want to see a crooked, dark, dimly lit house from an iPhone 13. I need to see, from a buying perspective, not that I'm buying the house, but I like to pretend. From a buying perspective, seeing that high-end photography, wide-angle lens, edited in Lightroom, it really allows me to picture myself there. What doesn't allow me to picture myself there is grungy, dark, dimly lit, low quality, low resolution photos. Even if the house would have been the perfect one for me, I will not look at the complete listing.
Every customer that I've made cookies for will take a photo of the set and post it somewhere.
I've seen them and I don't like them.
Looks horrendous. I even look at their pictures and say, I wouldn't buy from myself.
Because pictures are worth 1,000 words. So, my computer, but
oh my goodness.
It's just in the...
Oh my goodness.
So that ties up this podcast. If you truly want these marketing groups, the sugar cookie marketing group, the cookie college, the baking group, to be valuable resources for you, ask questions in a way that cultivate valuable responses. And you are the captain of that ship, right, Captain?
Captain, aye.
The way you write that, if you say, well, I was really emotional when I wrote that, then don't write it. Wait until 24 hours. Put 24 hours stay on those groups before you come in and take a giant Duke in the middle of them on a Saturday when I'm trying to relax.
I know. I know.
People, I was telling Ruth Ann about it. And I said, people love to be upset. We love to be mad. We love to be angry. We love to be keyboard warriors. What Facebook groups allow us to do is argue online with a faceless human. what Facebook also realizes is these groups become so toxic that it's created a lot of AI tools to shut down threads. I know you guys are like, well, you guys are just, I can have a thread auto lock using Facebook's group AI tool if it has 10 angry reacts. I can have it auto lock if the AI deems that the comment section is controversial. How futuristic. Facebook knows that anger and hatred gets a lot of engagement and it's also worthless. So stop being worthless.
I want to say, this is totally random, but last year when I was finishing up the school year yearbook, I got an email from the principal, all caps. Everything was caps in there.
It's stressful.
It said, they've released the order form. People are ordering it. We've not announced it yet. But it's capitalized, exclamation points everywhere. Just from reading that, I was getting anxious. And then I had to take a step back. I'm like, no one has died from getting a yearbook too fast. No one has died from
0 deaths on record.
Your royal icing being lumpy. It's not an emotional thing. So I was able to step back and be like, man, there's always going to be an answer.
There's always a solution. And it might be a compromise, but nobody in this industry dies. As long as you're practicing food safety before you guys get on and say you haven't, nobody technically dies.
It's very hard to separate business from emotion.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the only reason me and Heather are good at it is because we've been separating business from emotion for a long, long time.
I'm going to do a hard take, and I think this is going to step on some little toes. So if you want to put on your steel toe boots.
My toe?
Anybody's.
Okay.
People listening. Probably not you because we've gone through this for so long. If you're really high in emotion in a business decision, it's because you're egotistical. It's because your ego has been tied to that order, and somebody giving you feedback that's less than stellar has hurt your ego, and you're letting it hurt your business. So if you find that you're constantly in a high state of emotion, I would do some introspective work on why your ego is so tied into this business when we say, it's just business. It's not personal. You have got to separate your ego from being so tied in. Your self-worth cannot be in a cookie. It has to be owned by you. And if you're letting every order have a little piece of the ownership of how you view yourself, you're a slave to many.
I want to say the other day I made these princess dress cookies. Was very proud of them.
Corey really did like them. I remember
very proud of them.
This is great. Can I show you these? Don't say you don't like them.
Yeah, very proud of them. Gave them to the customer. The customer sent me a message. I have a question for you. Please don't hate me. And I was like, right when I saw that, I said, I'm going to refund her. Even though I think I did a fantastic job on the set, I said, I'm going to separate emotion. There's going to be no emotion tied. I'm going to take the loss. I'm going to refund her if she hates something about the taste, the look, something I did wrong. So I went into there and I said, oh, please do tell. I had no emotion because I had already made up my decision that I was going to make this customer happy regardless. She ended up saying, can I get another one for a photo?
Oh, great.
But in my mind, I could have been like, oh my God, what about it?
My client, a lot of times I see it when somebody's like, my client has said they have a question. I don't know what it is, but I'm already panicking. Listen, but you gotta extract the two. It's business. The worst case scenario, the worst case scenario is you just give them their money back. If that's the worst case scenario, we have a very easy business.
Worst case scenario, you give them their money back and maybe you forego buying new cutters for the next drop from...
I'd say give them their money back from the oopsie budget. It's not even your money. It was already allocated. Amy will say sometimes, this question was asked because mentally or physically they've already spent the money. That's why they don't want to refund. Yeah. And that's not your client's job. Your client is not your YNAB budget. If you already spent their money and now they're not happy, well, then you gotta, you know what? My bad.
Yeah. Almost sometimes when I get paid, I hold on to it for a little bit.
Yeah.
Just in
Put
case.
it in a holding pattern.
Holding pattern.
I'm like, this is the airport just yet.
This isn't going to hit my account. Why? Yeah, until I feel like they're not going to ever mess with me back.
Yeah, so there you guys go. That's it. If you guys really want to use these groups to help grow your business, that is what they're designed for. They are ripe for the taking. And I encourage you to do it because those posts you make keep this group alive. If nobody's posting, we got nothing.
But at the end of the day, as your admin team, our goal is to keep you safe as a poster and the group valuable. We're going to do what we got to do to either clean up the comment section, make sure that you're protected if you put yourself out there and we feel like people are attacking you. That's not the goal either. This will be the safest group on the internet.
Oh, Even if there's just me, Corey, and Amy, it will be respectful and the comments will be clean. But that said, a lot of you guys, and Corey and I have to constantly remind ourselves of it, a lot of you guys really give some really solid content.
Yeah.
And I got to respect the fact that you took that much time to help somebody out. Let me respect you by cleaning up these comments so that your valuable content really rises to the top.
There's some people who repeatedly only give solid advice.
I know. As soon as I see their name, I'm like, thank goodness.
I don't have to. I don't even need to read it.
I don't even need to add because that's going to trump anything that I would say. And I say a lot of the quiet people, the people are too busy working hard to create a business that changes their lives. They're not in the comments. They're not arguing. That's what we're here for, to make sure that you guys, whenever you need us, we're right there for you. You're going to get a valuable response. You're going to be able to move your business forward, survive any difficulties, and bring that ship right into the harbor.
Bring that
full sail.
We're the lighthouse to your sail.
They didn't know what he said, Luce, when he sent that text. Okay, fun little thing. Buzzsprout, the host of the podcast, enabled this text to podcast. So if you even look it up on Spotify, it says text to podcast. So now you can not text us in more than one place. But we did get our first fan mail. It was a question. It was a fan
question.
They had asked a question that we actually addressed in last week's podcast. So they say, ignore the text above. I think I misunderstood. But I have a question.
Sure.
You mentioned in your podcast that people can be given a class credit if they can't make the class. And then I thought you said, I heard you say if they don't show, they don't get a class credit. If I heard that correctly, how do you explain to them after the fact? I could see them arguing why they would be entitled to that credit. Thanks for all you do. Your podcast is so informative. From Albany, New York. Great question. So when I say they get a class credit, they can get a class credit if they cancel before our classes are always on Saturday. If they cancel 7 days before that Saturday, they can get a class credit. So that means Monday, they can do it that last Saturday. They can do it all the way to the Friday before. It's a bummer when they do that. Most people don't. But in the event that they cancel Friday, I still have a couple hours where I can still sell their ticket. Corey can either decide to decorate. That said, on Saturday, if they cancel then and do not show, or if they cancel on Saturday, even before class starts, there is no credit offered. I mentioned it to them. I mentioned it in the listing of the event. I mentioned it in the first email, and I think I even mentioned it in the final email. So they know, they're well aware that if they don't show up, they don't get a class credit. So then you're saying, but I feel like they're still going to have an issue with it. And yes, that has happened. They said, well, I didn't show, and I know I don't get a credit. Can I get my DIY kit? And we say, I think it's only happened a few times, so I didn't even write it as protocol.
Yeah.
I think I've said, if you want to pick it up tomorrow, you can grab it. Porsche pickup.
One lady they closed down $4.95. Big old.
I felt bad for her because she was genuinely a really nice
she was on
person.
her way. So we were like, oh yeah, you can definitely get your DIY kit. She came in at the end of class.
She got it that day because she was like, hey, can I just get a credit for a future class? I said, oh, so sorry. We don't do credits for future classes. In fact, I think a lot of them are booked. But if you still show up, I can give you your DIY kit. In fact, I'll give you the PowerPoint so that you can walk yourself through it. And you can use me and Corey as a resource if you have any questions. She has signed up for 2 more classes since. So again, that communication ahead of time, that credit option. I want to be fair to people. If you're sick, I don't want to force you to come. But you do have to have that cutoff before people start taking a little bit of advantage of loopholes.
A little bit.
Corey gets such a bad attitude.
I do.
She's not allowed to post in the group when somebody
I do. I have to put the phone away.
This is just a really nice text. You guys are the best podcast I've discovered. Million of D's.
Oh my god!
Discovered. Thank you for all your info, tips, and tricks. 2 hearts emoji and a sparkle.
2 hearts emoji right back at ya.
Thank you. 682 area code.
And a hand heart. Hand heart. Boop boop.
Hand heart right back at you. Okay. Hey twins, Kaylee here from Arizona. I've got a question for each of you.
I feel
She started with the best one, Heather. How soon after classes do you post pictures on Facebook? And what editing do you do, if any? If later on, how do you explain the timeline without people getting mad? I have people asking for pictures the next day, even when I tell them it'll be a couple of days. Kaylee, I've learned that lesson the hard way. I bring a nice mirrorless Sony camera, and I do not edit them. In fact, I just take the JPEGs from the memory card, post them on Facebook that next morning. So the autoresponder email I have says, hey guys, check Facebook. It does say in the next few days for your photos, and it hyperlinks there. And then that next day, I'll just take handful of these photos because I try to take a bunch of photos of the people and of the class setting itself. And that thing looks yellow, no color correction. The camera's nice enough that they still look like good photos. But
you
because
should be running this through later.
I should. I'm lazy. The Lazy. But like she says, at the end of the day, if more people are happy just getting the photos than they are getting edited photos.
Get it home.
There's got a compromiser.
Especially if they're on this like winning sale and they want to like post their pictures. You can get more sales.
I think I'd rather a less quality, a less edited photo and delivered in quickly than a high quality photo delivered slowly. So that's my compromise. I just take the photos and almost drag and drop them, throw them on a Facebook album and just
get on to my question.
Corey, since you don't plan custom sets until the week before, week of, do you avoid designs that require
day before, day of?
Do you avoid designs that require you to reach back out to the customer for clarification? How do you make sure you ask all the questions up front if that's what you do? For example, thank you for pet sitting cookies. I wasn't provided the pet sitter's name, and I didn't think to ask until I was already planning the set.
That is a fantastic question. Eventually, after you've done so many sets, you just know to ask for. If someone asks for a wedding set, I'm going to say, is there a last name that you want? Is there a wedding date? It's just a standard question. If someone
asks, that the first follow-up?
It's as soon as they send an inquiry, I'm like, oh, great. I see your inspiration photo. What I'm going to do is actually pull from there. Is there a color scheme you can give me? Also, do you want a name to appear on any of the cookies?
So you knock that out at the beginning, even though if you don't need it then.
Absolutely. Later. Yeah. And they can say, like, I asked a lady last week for an order in 2 months. She said, no, they don't have a baby name chosen yet. All right, sweet. There's going to be 0 names present. So I make sure I ask
because the baby's name wasn't chosen yet, and she put the order in 2 months ago. She doesn't get a baby name on the cookie
unless she reaches out to me and says differently. I'm going off of what you originally said. I'm not going to keep
your answer to Kaylee is if I don't get it in the first message, it's not going on.
Mm-hmm. And the thing I don't like to do with customers is a long back and forthy because that's where a lot of details get lost in the sauce, and you're like, I don't know, names get spelled wrong.
Once I sent my car to get fixed somewhere, and they were like, oh, what cable color would you like? And I'm like, I didn't even know cable color. I gotta go think. Like, if they had just put black cables on there, I'd have been like, black, I guess, is the cable color. But because they asked, they created this whole, I said, well, I gotta ask my grandma what she thinks we should get for this car she doesn't care about. Like, it opened the door for more back and forth, more opinions, more changes, more overthinking.
Mm-hmm. So just asking those standard questions. If you know it's a birthday set, you're going to ask for a name. It's just people like to have their names on them.
So she's got an example. Thank you for pet sitting. The cookie, that's the set.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the inquiry, I have somebody watching my dog in July.
If you say pets, I'm going to say, do you want the pet's name to appear anywhere? If there's the word pet, if there's the word child, if
so
there's
you
the
have
word
trigger
baby.
words that say, ask this question back.
Yes.
Okay, great. You don't say there's no trigger words. Would you like
no, because I don't want to do extra work.
Okay, there,
Kaylee.
Kaylee says, thanks again with love from your melting friend. She's in Arizona.
Oh, but no humidity I do here.
It's the heat day. It's the humidity they get to. It's very humid here in Virginia, but I feel like it's supposed to rain for the next couple of days. Yeah. For the first time, it hasn't rained in a really long time. I think it will cool us down. I looked because I'm dying here. I'm dying. I'm just not going to walk outside until the end of August. End of August, high 70s. That's where I thrive. That's where my little flower blooms.
I can't wait to walk.
We walked today and there was sweat pouring down my back.
I had a little sweat stash going on.
I want to let you know you had a sweat stain on your shirt.
Oh, yeah, for sure. You had a sweat stain on your back.
Oh, I know, I did. You thought you didn't sweat.
Oh, yeah, no.
You said you don't sweat
at all. I
didn't
sweat. I just don't sweat like you do.
You look like your ship set sail into the harbor to Anchor Bay. Those are our texts for today. If you would like to text in, it's 571-556-5644. And also that little send this podcast a text message works now as well. It ends up in my inbox.
If you wanted to add in your order form, is there any special name or dates you would like to see on these cookies?
Oh, that's a nice one. Get it out.
That's an easy one, so you don't have to try to remember.
Oh, you know what we got today?
What?
Baking it down is trademarked. That I filed. I paid someone to file. Yeah, just we got it.
I thought you meant someone else trademarked it.
No,
I was getting ready to be sad.
If you're, I'm so sorry. You guys are going to think like, can you guys teach us how to trademark? Yeah, I tried it myself. Yeah. Immediate rejection, out $300. And it takes us 8 months for them to tell you they just took your money. So I found this, when your application gets rejected like a nerd, it puts it on this giant rejected list, and all these law firms reach out to you and we're like, yeah, we can file this together. So I did follow up with one of them, and I was like, hey, do you want to file this for my idiot self? And they're like, yeah, sure. So I had them do sugar cookie marketing, and then a couple of months later said baking it down. It is likely been 10 to 12 months since they filed it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I think they cost $800. However, worth it not to do it yourself. That was so confusing.
True.
So baking it down right here.
Nice.
Can't trademark the word podcast. They told me, idiot. Now let's go to events. We actually just passed a great event.
Can I say something I
please.
learned from it? Bonnie Bradley.
What's the name of her business again?
Cake. It's Sweet Stella Treats.
Sweet Stella Treats.
She is cake poppin' queen.
Yes.
So she did a Facebook Live. She even gave the free recipe. For you guys sleeping on that, I would just go save it. It's a nice little graphic. It's her go-to recipe, and it used Betty Crocker's, which, if you know, Betty Crocker's did lessen their boxes, so you don't have to go and try to do math. She just says get the Betty Crocker's 13 ounce.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, sweet. I never knew how to kind of save my chocolate after it started drying in the cake pop dipping part.
Okay.
She said, put a little piece of parchment out. Put all the chocolate on there and make it a thin sheet.
Okay.
And you can break it back up, put it back in the bag.
Oh, nice.
To reuse later.
It's those little hacks where you're like, why didn't I see that right
And you know
there?
what? I could have thought about
I
it.
know.
But I was like, how do I get this hardened chocolate out of this bowl?
She said, would we be open to her doing this maybe quarterly?
I would love that.
Yeah, so I'll tell her that. Next up, I can't believe CookieCon is so close.
How close is that?
September 17th.
Wow.
Is the happy hour. Now, Heather Kimball, Brookshire, can plan your Disney and Universal trip or cruise.
Yeah.
She is the sponsor for the happy hour. Her and Kim, who's opening a brick and mortar store as we speak, are heading up the happy hour in Round Rock, Texas. If you haven't heard of CookieCon, it is a national convention of cookiers. I love to say it.
International. People are flying in.
Oh, it'd be international. It's a really wild experience. It's 4 days of absolute cookie-packed lessons, dinners, games,
Friends.
add-ons, happy hours.
A big old dinner at the end.
Dinners again, Corey said. There's a lot going on. It's a fun event. It's completely sold out. However, you do not need to be attending the event to attend this happy hour. All you do is got to show up. It's in the events tab. You'll also find other Campbell Brookshire contact information for Disney trip planning.
And
which you can
even
plan.
do
It doesn't cost money.
France. That's the best part about Disney
France.
event planners. You don't pay them. Disney pays them.
It's genius.
They just make your life easier.
Yeah. I've heard that Disney, I was watching a documentary on Disney.
Sure.
Disney France didn't do well. It was not ideal. They tried to make it look like a studio, so big cement poured buildings. That's not what people wanted. We wanted Main Street
Cartoons.
Disney. Yeah, and then they said that Disney Japan, because the Japanese culture hadn't had a preconditioned notion of what Disney should be.
Yeah.
The Disney, what do they call the designers that have a cute name? Imagineers.
Cartoonist?
No, the Imagineers. They were able to just do everything they ever wanted to do at Disney America, and they put it in. So, like, okay, they said at Disney, if you go to Disney Florida, Orlando, they can't change the scary haunted mansion because people get so mad because they're taking the ride to remember things.
Yeah.
But nobody remembered it in Japan, so they built a haunted mansion that you just get sucked off away from everybody else, and you get taken on a different ride every time.
Oh.
Yeah, only like what, 1 million hours to fly over there. Oh gosh. But for Disney, the haunted mansion, and they said it's like all this new technology over there. Just very interesting how Disney's evolved. If you want to see how Disney evolved, contact Heather Campbell Brookshire. Her information's in the events tab, along with that information about the happy hour. Oh, Trademark Matters emailed me and said, hey, went through.
Oh, nice.
Right,
now
to let you
let's go on to our sponsors. First off is Eddie, the edible printer. I even found out he can print on Jordan almonds.
No way.
Yeah.
Jordan Almonds is
I found it on their Instagram.
those will take your teeth out with somebody.
But they'll be cute. I eat them. Eddie is a direct-to-food printer. Looks like a printer that would be on your desk, but instead of using printer ink, it uses edible food coloring like you would use in an airbrush machine. But it can print absolutely every single design you can find. It's become so popular now, you can get on Etsy and you can find very popular images that you can just buy, download, and use on Eddie. It's awesome. There's even cutter shops that make the graphic to go with the specific cutter.
I was looking at the Eddie group yesterday. I don't remember her name. It's so, her colors. She is a shop, huh?
We're vibrant.
I can't begin to, it looks fake. And she's like, I know these look fake, But she films a video where she's like touching the cookie. And I'm like, wow, the colors are so crazy. And she's like, you just got to really lean into the machine. And I think you could buy from her how to optimize it. You could buy her prints and her cutters that match the other. But I was like, wow, those colors are punchy. Like, you got it.
Punchy color. Yeah. But Eddie can print on just about anything that fits on his little lip that pops out. He prints on royal icing cookies. That's what I really love him for. He can print on buttercream topped cookies, especially if you have stable buttercream recipe. Jordan almonds, Mentos, M&Ms. Men's toes, sometimes chips. I've seen people, macaron tops. I just did it last week. I did it last week and I wanted to test printing Eddie and then using gold luster to attach to the color. Worked perfectly.
You know, I get Target and that, maybe other people. I'm not sure if it's a big bakery chain or just a small baker who's got a wide budget, but it's macaron tops. They're pink, but they've printed Kirby on it. It's so cute.
I feel like they did use Eddie there.
I think they did. I think you'd have to use direct food print.
They have a group on Facebook, but I would highly suggest going to their Instagram and seeing just what people are doing with them. You can see how they incorporate it with a typical pipe set. And you can see how they're using it for like back to school things. Notebook cookies are big right now. And he prints so great with that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, lots of fun stuff there. Another sponsor that we have, trying to get them into the Vendy Blendy, which we'll talk about in a second, is Courtney with Bakety Bake. It's baketybake.com. Use code TWINS at checkout for 10% off. It is a meringue powder of your dreams. Corey loves it. Corey said her icing bleed problems are behind her. Bring her some Bakety Bake, and then if it's ever sold out, you can see Corey get in a deep sweat. I think Bakety Bake will be at Cookie Con in September.
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, I think so. Next up, Vendy Blendy.
Vendy Blendy got 2 new sign-ups. Had a slow pushing it. Everyone's had a really great response. Yeah. This is I can just tell you right now, this is going to be a wild year.
A wild year?
It's going to be a wild Vendy Blendy.
Why?
It's just, there's all the vendors like, yeah, whatever you need, let's do it. I calculated the numbers. I posted about it last week. I'm going to start posting the CookieCon numbers. I'm going to tell you how many people in my one post.
You said CookieCon numbers, but
Vendy Blendy. My events are getting confused. When I made that post last week about the Vendy Blendy numbers, which is how many people are pending, how much the door prize total is, and how many vendors we had, 1,000 more people requested to spendy.
Wow.
Yeah, so we went from 3,500 and now we're at 1,500. I'm sorry, we went from...
That's not math.
No. I don't remember. The number was... I think we went up by hundreds. That's what I was saying. And Jessica Norgard, if you're listening right now, you're the most recent pending. So I think we're going to have these culmination of so many vendors, so many penders that turn into spenders. And right now, just a quick addition of the giveaway door prizes. We're at over... this is 4,600 and doesn't include the main door prize, which will be around 1,500 to 3,000, depending on how many vendors sign up. So it will be just a wild day. It will just be an unhinged wild day.
Go through the names real quick. Just the names. Just
the Pink Piggy, my 2 cookies. They signed up this week. They're actually back from last year because I haven't opened it up really to noon. So. Scribes by Shirls, The Dessert Depot, The Cookiery, Sam and June's Bake Shop, Mad Batter, Cookie Co., My Dope, Sugarloaf Mountain Designs, JoJo's Specialty Shop, Sweet Pink Olive, Chew a Cookie, Busy Bakers, Whipsy, Dare to Bake, Cookie Your Prince, Brighton Cutters, Minted Prince, Lolly Bee Custom Cutter, The Bougie Baker Boutique, Sweetie's Tasty Treats and Scribes, Sunshine Day Biz, Miss Cookie Packaging, Sweet by App, A Core Backers, Cookie Cutters by Nori, Mixer Skirt, Cup of Cookies, Love and Flour Baking Supplies, One Smart Cookies and Crafts, More Decor, The Domestic Cookie, Bobby's Cutters, Blue Honey Cutter Co., and The Cookie College.
Wow. Can't wait. If you're just hearing the words Vendy Blendy, you're not wrong. It's a blender, government name, event that happens the day after Thanksgiving on Black Friday. It's open for 24 hours. At 12:01, everyone gets in. You'll pend until the day of. At the top of the group will be pinned the people, the vendors, and their discounts and their websites. You can take that and go, but we encourage you to stay all day long. There's going to be giveaways. Tons and tons of giveaways.
Thousands and thousands of dollars given away. I think last year it came out to over $20,000.
Yeah.
And the requirement to win a door prize is that you don't have to spend money to do it. So even if you're like, hey, girls, I'm on a Black Friday budget, try your hand at winning something. There's a ton of prizes and discounts and product demonstrations. It's a great way to just see what's coming, what these shops have that we haven't heard of.
Yeah.
Each vendor's allowed to make 3 posts that day, 2 picture post, one video post, or a Facebook Live is what they choose. If they choose to give a door prize as well, they can have you sign up for the newsletter, like them on Instagram, something that they can do to have you enter that.
And what's crazy is come midnight that day, we delete every post in the group.
It's my favorite thing to do because people start saying, oh no, it's
happening. We delete every post. Then painstakingly remove every person.
And then the law of the Vendy Blendy reigns supreme. It shall not be uttered.
It shall not
until
be
next year.
Yes, cannot wait.
It's a vibe. Even if you're like, I don't really know and I don't really care, just hang out. It's just fun. Speaking of like mob mentality, that one is a mob of spendies.
It is. The next up, the Cookie College. In the Cookie College gets everything. So they get the Cookie Class kits. The cat class is in Heather's hands. Giving her everything.
She got it way early.
I did.
Then avoiding myself.
It's because mostly I've overbooked myself for August, so I need to get it out of the way.
Corey signed up for a vendor event so we could talk about it with you guys. I am dreading it.
I do. It's going to be a podcast. I thought it would be a great opportunity. Did I want to do it? No. Am I going to have a bad attitude come the day of? Absolutely. But it's a vendor event at this and we passed it the other day,
fancy barn
in a very high-end area.
Yes.
So what it is, the first day they're having a fake wedding.
No, you make them wait.
All right.
Make them wait. You can turn into a future podcast.
Okay, all right. Do you have a twin twist?
I feel like you were skipping something. You were talking so fast. Oh yeah, about the Cookie College. We're putting the final touches on our template library. That template library, you could, if you like the way we write unemotional copy, we'll have 38 topics. And each of those topics will include 3 different versions, varying from very friendly with emojis to somewhat formal, depending on how you run your business. Some people don't like the, hey girl, hey. And some people like, thank you for contacting me. However, they're all responses. They're all copy that it's meant to move your business forward. You can buy those a la carte. You can say, hey, listen, I just have a customer is really upset about missing their cookie class and I can't refund them because they get a credit. How should I word this? You could buy that copy or you could just sign up for the Cookie College because as Corey said, the college gets everything. So that'll be added to that membership at no additional cost. It's still $76 a month. And if you want to sign up on the Vendy Blendy, I think we will go back to that 1 day of original pricing. My twin twist is I'm going through a journey of organizing my own.
Always on that journey.
I'm always on that journey. I don't think the journey ever stops. I think it stops when they lower me on the ground. However, okay, here's the theory, right? You have a ton of photos that you've either taken physically when digital cameras came out. We didn't have cell phones. We have a lot of digital. Then cell phones came and they kind of just destroyed photos. And then maybe you paid somebody to do like a professional photo shoot, right?
Yeah.
And then you went to the beach and you took a bunch of photos. All those are scattered amongst hard drives and computers and abandoned Google Drives, boxes. So my thought in this past year I've been working on it is digitize every physical photo so that I don't need the physical representation of photo. It's easier to look at online. Organize every photo from the dawn of time till today and then put them in a cloud-based storage.
Nice.
I went through a bunch of options of cloud-based storage. What I wanted was easy access. I wanted a desktop app for a cloud-based service, meaning I can access the cloud as an easy folder on my desktop, which allows for easy uploading. And I didn't want to be absolutely hemorrhaged with cost, although I understood there would be a cost associated. It's too many photos than the free Google Drive. And then caveat, I might have wanted to be able to upload documents, which Google Photos can't do.
What documents are you?
I don't know. I haven't decided if the documents are part of it. I haven't decided.
Your birth certificate?
That's scanned and ready to go, buddy. So I landed on, and I hate that it's so old. I think it's old and dominating the arena for a reason. Dropbox.
Yeah.
$119 for a year of 2 terabytes. You have the desktop app. You can easily share.
It's about $10 a month.
Yeah, it was $12.99 if you did it monthly.
Yeah, but if you're 119 divided.
Right. So that's where I'm at. And I uploaded them all overnight. They're all in the cloud. I have hardly touched my storage. Corey said, do you have any pictures of ours? So we went back through a couple of trips we went on.
My ex-husband was on a
I said, one of this. I'm glad I can share this.
I said, I haven't aged today.
So that's been my journey. If you're interested in organizing your photos, because my thought is this house burns down. Your memories don't exist anymore.
What are you going to do? Yeah.
Corey said all her memories are on laptops that no longer turn on.
Unfortunately.
So they're done.
I did not do what Heather was doing.
No.
So all those memories are lost in space and time.
What do you feel that you care? Or you're
I feel sad about it.
You look broken.
I feel very sad. Well, what can I do? You can't cry over so milk.
Now you're going to do anything moving in the future?
Well, I have done is use my external hard drive, but you're right. If there was a fire, that would be gone too.
I think a lot of people, I post them on Facebook, but I used to post on Google Plus. I know, dating myself with that. And Google Plus was like, hey, hun, we're going to delete this whole app, get rid of it. Do you know Google has a link shortener called goo.gilly?
Oh, yeah.
We're shutting it down. Every link will die.
No.
By the end of the year.
I think everyone's using Tiny URL on Bitly anyway.
But like Google, man, these apps, when they're done, they're just,
yeah.
My cousin called and she's like, well, I don't save my photos in the cloud. I use Snapchat. Like Snapchat's on the brink of bankruptcy every other day. I said, if that shuts down, she's like, it's not even if it shuts down. If I lose my account, if my account gets hacked, those memories are gone.
Yeah.
So something to consider. Nothing's perfect. There's no 100% solid solution.
And when I was growing up, I thought, I'll just remember.
You don't remember.
You don't. No. You don't.
I made peace a long time ago that I have the memory of a goldfish.
You do not have a good memory.
No. Who are you? What did you say?
What's this?
Is this a podcast? I've never heard of it. You and everybody else. Okay, what's your turn?
I don't think you have one.
Find one.
What would it be?
Christmas in July.
Oh, we're doing Christmas in July. Okay.
Tell them what it is and why it's so weird.
This is the third annual?
Fourth annual.
Fourth annual. Us sisters and my mom. There's 4 sisters and 1 mom. Just in case you didn't know. She wrote this all. We usually do a Christmas in July. Everyone has a $50 limit per person. So you end up spending $200.
Christmas in July is you buy everyone around the table one gift.
$50 value.
Just a little bump in the middle of kind of the
just to get
dead
you
zone
through the holidays. So this year we weren't going to do it because Heather went crazy and bought us tickets, which extended.
I went crazy.
Which extended.
I wanted to give people an experience. I blew the budget out the water, and then you added your kid to it. You said, "Can he get a ticket? He's not even part of this."
I think you got him a ticket.
I bought him one. It's cost me a fortune.
So Heather actually, it's supposed to be one day and done, but
It's
Heather bought an experience,
gift.
So it made it like extra long.
It caught me in my minimalist year.
So now we're back to maximalist, where you buy something.
Okay, so Corey and I met at the mall because my mom had said we weren't
going to do it, and now it's next Saturday, so you don't have any time to order.
You can't
anything.
order, so you have to do. And then the question is, do you get people something that you like, or get something? But the rule is, it has to be the same thing.
So I was like, I want to be a unique snowflake, but there was nothing that I didn't want to. I don't want someone to throw it away.
So
because
Corey got a consumable. That isn't skincare, and I love skincare products. But eventually, if one pimple forms, I can't use it ever.
But Heather had a good idea. Huh?
Yeah, go on. I want to hear what I did.
We went into Bath and Body Works, and they have not advertised, but they do have their fall candles
Not
out.
all of them, but enough. So Corey and I spent probably 45 minutes sniffing around.
So everyone gets 3 fall candles
From their White Barn. Is that called White Barn?
Yeah, I think so.
And it's got that kind of nicer looking look to it.
Yes.
And they're all fall flavors.
To burn till it comes to fall. Yeah. So you don't have it sitting around once you burn it.
And they were on sale. Not for their cheapest. I think, their cheapest I think is $12.50.
Yeah. So everyone got 3. So I got 4 of 3.
Yeah. So you got the budget.
Yeah.
Well, I decided, and Corey said this is a good idea. There's this luxury designer chocolate.
It's Godiva.
Oh, is it Godiva? No, I don't think it is.
No, it is Godiva.
I think Godiva closed and a new chocolate shop opened up there.
Let me look. You keep talking.
Okay. So when you walk past this not Godiva chocolate shop, it was a Godiva.
It is called La Joie.
Yes, so
there's
very
an
fancy.
A with 2 dots.
It was a Godiva for years and years, and now it's this other fancy chocolate shop. But it has these giant sheets of designer chocolate. I don't even know how to describe them. I'll have to take a picture when we go on Friday. But they're all unique flavors. And I said, in my impoverished clothes, I said, how much is one of those sheets? She said $150. And I was like, can we break a sheet? And she's like, yeah, you can break them up.
They have pistachio as a flavor, cashews, cornflakes, salted caramel.
Oh, salted caramel.
Yeah.
There's some in there, and there was like berries and
raspberries and things like that.
Stuff I would rather die.
So Heather's going to get each person a half sheet.
Yeah, and then a consumable, an experience, but we don't have to
Yeah, and delish. I thought it was I'm excited. I'm getting salted caramel.
Corey made some Christmas in July cake pops.
I did.
If you really were feeling festive, maybe some macarons.
What flavor?
Vanilla. Oh.
No.
Just do vanilla.
I'm tired of you guys
Do
complaining.
red caps, white filling, and then just do 3. It'll be his belly.
What's the
Santa's
bun?
belly. Just, you have to just do a white buttons.
Wouldn't
black
his
buttons.
belly be a belt, a black belt?
And a black belt.
I don't know. That's very much a lot to do right there.
Just make red ones and say they're real doll's nose. I'll eat them so right. That is the podcast today, kids. Thank you so much for listening. If you're taking off your baking business in the summer, we are gearing up for a busy season.
Yeah, you'll be listening to this when you start baking again. You'll have a myriad, 5 podcasts to listen to.
And you'll also be sweating because it will be, I can't believe in my countdown calendar.
Yeah.
A back to school for our county is like 28 days.
They've got to sign a kid back up for school.
Yeah, but no. Okay, goodbye.